Hey, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we've got a good video for you today. We've got 17 things that millionaires do different than others. And this is a good summary of the book that I've been reading, The Millionaire Mind. So I want to show you guys The Millionaire Mind really quick. It's in my Audible library. I'm still promising you guys that summary of basically the books that are in my Audible library. I like to listen to these. These are books that I've gotten a lot out of. Before we get started on all this stuff, if you could hit the thumbs up button, that really does help my videos get spread. I noticed the views and the thumbs up, they are really correlated. And it also helps with the YouTube algorithm, helps my videos get spread, helps the videos actually make a little bit more revenue. So if people like the videos, it does help. So 17 things millionaires do differently than others. Before we get started on that, actually, I wanted to say one more thing, and that is that there is a movement out there to basically tell you that you can't do anything, that you're destined to be, how you're born is how you're destined to continue throughout your life. And this is based on statistics. And the problem that I have with statistics is that they're very good at showing correlations, but they're not very good at showing causations. Okay, so what we're going to talk about today is causation, and we're going to talk about, obviously there's some systemic things, but there's also a blueprint to wealth. So if you're doing a lot of these things, or if you're not doing some of these things, it's good to be aware of. So that is the point of this video. So number one, they're frugal. So a commitment to saving. All right, it talks about having a commitment to saving. They don't see a dollar as something that they can just immediately give away, right? That's a representation of their time, okay? That's the way that millionaires see time. I've met a lot of millionaires over the time, and that's basically what they see their dollar as a representation of. I work for this. This is my labor. I'm never going to get that labor back, and the only thing I have to show for it is this dollar. So what do I want to do with that? Okay, so that doesn't mean never spending anything. That just means never spending anything on something that you don't think is worth that amount of time, okay? They keep their housing costs low. So this one is very important. This one, you see a lot of new housing developments, and your new rich type of people, the lawyer that just got their job, the doctor that just got their job. They want to go and they want to get that new fancy, newly built home. Okay, so keeping your housing costs low means, sometimes it means getting a house that's either beat up or that's old. Okay, it means that you might buy something that you have to go and you have to fix. Okay, so that's what keeping your housing costs low. Okay, it means taking something and making it like 25% or less of your income, and that's how much your housing cost is. That's going to allow you to save, okay? And then that's number three. They save a lot of their income. M1 Finance, I just bought a couple tech stocks. That's what that was. So, squirrel. They save a lot of their income, okay? So obviously they have a lot of income to save because they focus on their income first, but they save a lot of their income. So it's not just, hey, I'm going to make 300 grand a year and I'm just going to spend 300 grand a year. It's like, hey, I'm going to make 300 grand a year and I'm going to live like a normal person. And then I'm also going to take some of that money and I'm going to plow it back into my income producing businesses or potential. Okay. So this dude, I like this dude, man. I want to meet that dude. I don't know who he is. They don't budget. So this one is a shocker to all the Dave Ramsey fans out there. So essentially what it says down here is that they have good habits. Okay. So for me, I know what I eat every month. I know, that I'm going to exercise every month. I generally know how much I spend every month. So I don't need a budget. Okay. I know that I spend about, 20 to 30% of my income based on the things that I buy. And when I go outside of that left and right limit, then that's when I need to say, okay, how much of my income am I actually spending this month? Because once you have those good habits, right, what I would say is it's good to start with a budget, but then after you have those good habits you have established and you're focused on your investments and you're focused on trying to invest a certain amount each month, paying yourself first, you don't need a budget at that point. Because if something comes up, if you need to take a trip, if you need to go visit somebody's down, whatever, you don't need to put that into a budget, right? You just need to, generally speaking, know what you spend and have good habits. All right. They take on a side hustle. So this one's very common. This is one of the first things that I saw when I got into the finance space is that these side hustles, right? All these side hustles. I got into Uber. I got into blood donation. I got into secret shopping. Okay. So a lot of people, when you see like, the jobs, if you look at like the average job or how much you can make with the average job, people get this fixed mentality where it's like, once you take on a side hustle, what I'll say is the best thing about that is that you realize that all of your time, all of your hours, you could be getting paid for them. Okay. So you start to equate your time with your money. Okay. So your time is your money. So that is one thing that I definitely gain from picking up a side hustle, not necessarily just learning customer service through Uber or meeting prominent people, but that was good too. But just equating your time with your money. They invest in real estate. So despite what Grant Cardone will tell you, most millionaires, an overwhelming level of millionaires, invest in real estate, right? They own the home that they live in, and they also use typically leverage, a little bit of leverage, to invest in real estate. All right. So a lot of people move towards no leverage towards the end of their investing career when they're trying to kind of settle down. They're trying to deleverage. They stop using as much leverage, but that is a way through flipping, which we could talk about later, or through just doing other types of real estate strategies. That's a good way to get started. Dip your feet into starting to move around capital, create capital. Okay. They invest in low cost index funds. So I get a little bit of crap for this. People, they ask me like, hey, Casey, what stocks are you buying into? And you guys saw earlier in the video, if I didn't cut it out, an M1 finance trade. So that's essentially a low cost index fund. All right. I bought into 19 stocks, and I don't think that I have the knowledge to really determine what is going to outperform the market over time. I just generally know what a good company looks like. I know what a bad company looks like. And I know that if I continue to increase my income, it doesn't matter if I time everything exactly right. Because when you don't have that fixed mindset of, hey, I only make 50 grand a year and I need to make this grow into $1 million, when you start growing your income, you don't really worry about those massive returns that we want to, get rich quick in Bitcoin, or we want to get rich quick in whatever. So low cost index funds. Also, typically fund managers don't outperform those. So if you think you're better than a fund manager, you can try it. But for the most part, I just invest in low cost index funds. Okay. They spend more time planning their investments. So every morning when I wake up and I look at my notes. Okay, so let me pull these out really quick. So this is my to-do right here. All right, just pulled these out. So this is my plan for the month. I'm going to push $4,528 into my house, okay, so that I can pay it down to $42K. Like I said in an earlier video, I'm trying to get that to $224K by the time I go to buy a new house. I'm trying to hit $20K on BlockFi by the end of August. I'm $8,900 away. I calculated that is 11 grand, 11.5 grand is how much it's going to cost. And I've got 13.2 K of income coming in. So unless I spend, what's that, about $1,500, is that $1,700? If I spend $1,700, that means that I'm not going to make it. But as long as I spend under $1,700 on my bills and everything, that means that I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it to that 20K. I'm going to be close to buying that house. So anyways, they spend time planning their investment. So I always have a plan. There's always a running plan in my notes app that I know where my capital is going, and I know what type of videos we even see over there. I've got the videos, how long will it take you to retire, rebate key, multiple sources of income, value added surplus. These are videos that you guys will see coming out. Okay, I've always got a plan, right? So I think the next one is they spend a lot of time thinking, or they spend time towards personal growth activities. So this guy, you see this guy reading. All right, what are most people doing? Most people are spending all night on Netflix. Most people are spending, which there's nothing wrong with that, right? You need to take some time to relax, but you also need to take some time to actually grow, right? To grow your knowledge base, to grow your income, to grow your potential, okay? And to stay healthy, things like that. So they sleep less and work more. I don't necessarily agree with this one entirely. I think you still need to get your 8 hours of sleep, but statistically speaking, millionaires did sleep 8 hours less and they worked for 6 hours more. Okay, so those 6 hours every week, what does that say? Yeah, per week. Imagine that, 6 hours a week. Let's say that's $25. Let's take out the calculator. What's that? 125. Okay, that's 125 times 52. All right, that's $6,500. All right, that $6,500 starts to add up if you were to say that person is working 6 more hours a week. All right, so hard work still works. That's the moral of that story. They think more. This is what I was alluding to. All right, so every morning, like I said, when I wake up, I'm looking at this plan. All right, I'm scheming, I'm planning, I'm looking at like, hey, what's the best credit card offers? How can I be optimizing my life right now? How can I be making better content? How can I, what can I be doing? They sit there and they think. All right. That's a good thing about getting up early as well, is that you can sit there and you can just plan out your day. You can think about what you're going to do. You can make sure that you're optimizing your life. They don't follow the crowd. Okay. So the first thing that I always think about when I'm making decisions is, how is this going to be best for me? How is this going to be best for my family? Okay. How is this going to be best for my immediate close family, girlfriend, all those things? So they don't follow the crowd. They're not just like, all right, I wake up and I think, hey, what is everybody else doing today? They're thinking about, what am I going to do today? What's my long-term goal? Okay. They ask for feedback. Okay. And like I said, you guys can come. I'm going to post this actually down as a pinned comment, but asking for feedback, this is one that you need that to grow. Okay. You need to know, like, one thing that's always funny to me is that, you know, people call themselves a people person, but they typically don't ask people before they assign themselves that label. But good book on that, by the way, is How to Win Friends and Influence People. I always need to revisit that one because I'm not necessarily the greatest people person, but that is a great book to help you build up that skill. They're resilient and they persevere. Like I said, hard work works. They prioritize 4 relationships. So I really like this one, and I had to actually identify this in myself, and I thought, am I doing this? Okay, coach, mentor, cheerleader, friend. So I would say that cheerleader is my girlfriend. Friend would be people like Todd Baldwin in my life, guy who's very successful. And I would also kind of put him into this mentor category a little bit. And my guy, Jeff Weibo, he's got hundreds of properties over there. He's got a lot of stuff going on, and he's willing to talk to me all the time, hoping to go on his, on a podcast with him or something. And I would say my coach is probably my dad. Okay. And that's not to say that you have to necessarily have your dad around to have a coach, but that's how it shaked out for me. Friend would definitely be, like I said, people like Todd Baldwin and probably my mother. So practice consistency. I talk about this one all the time. I think this is the last one, but what you do, it's not what you do today, it's what you do every day. So consistency, they're more conscientious. So I actually had to look this up. I kind of knew what it meant, but conscientious, I can't spell. Wishing to do one's work or duty well or thoroughly. So basically, they take pride in their work, okay? So, which also helps if you actually love what you do, you love your work, and, you're willing to just dive into that. A lot of real estate agents, they just love real estate. A lot of people who sell insurance, they just love to sell insurance. They love to make that deal. They love to help people. So anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Like I said, I want to cite Hillary Hoffer, that chick right there. Anyways, hopefully you liked the video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. I'll see you guys in the next video. Hit the links down in the description if you guys want to get yourself some free money. Go down there and make some money today. I'll see you guys in the next video.